Like I said, I'm not kidding with you. You live life to the fullest up here every day. Every day I'm inspired, and every day I try to inspire.
Welcome to Stout Conversations, where every week we sit down with creative thinkers in the craft beer industry and beyond. Your hosts, Ken and April, live and work in a 24-foot RV, traveling the country in search of great stories around a great beer. Hello. Where are we at?
Breckenridge.
Breckenridge where?
Breckenridge, Colorado. In the montañas. Montañas.
Burning Man, beer, and Breckenridge. How the hell do these things go together? Enter Jason Ford of Broken Compass Brewing in Breckenridge, Colorado. This guy is an icon in the craft beer family, and after talking to him, there's no doubt why. His passion for life and commitment to community are infectious. We might just park our RV in his parking lot forever.
You talk about, as an engineer before this, and you talk about you love your job. I love my job, but this isn't even a job, right? Making beer for a living. Are you kidding me? And in a mountain town, I mean,
oh man,
it's incredible. It's kind of pie in the sky.
5 of my 6 bosses. Right
yeah, it's like pie in the sky. Yeah, super fun.
So you were an engineer before. Where does engineer Ford start? Or it's probably engineer Jason. And now
it was engineer
Ford,
Jason,
the brewer.
Yes, yeah. People call me Jason. I usually don't answer.
You end up
who's
with
that?
You go from being an engineer to running a brewery. Not only running a brewery, but in a mountain town in Colorado, not even in the busiest part of the mountain town.
Right.
How does that happen? Where does that transition happen?
So, chemical engineer was my career, and I was in research and development my whole career, and I got really lucky, made a lot of really cool stuff, had a lot of fun, and then I made the mistake of taking a management position, right? And I sat around, made a lot of money, sit around and tell people what to do, and I about lost my mind. I'm that guy that needs to do and create. And all of a sudden that creative outlet was gone. And had a good buddy down in Denver, started Lone Tree Brewing.
Oh yeah.
And I was that was kind of my hobby job for a while. I went there and I brewed a little bit, served some beers, worked out in the tap room. Mm-hmm. And I was like, man, this is great. I could do this. Ended up, saying, hey, let's see what it takes to start a brewery. And was looking at starting one down in Denver at the time. And then it's like I had the beer, needed somebody at the business. My ex-business partner, Axe, has been up here since 97, and we kind of sat down and he's like, what about Breckenridge? I'm like, what about Breckenridge? I kind of had to calm myself down. I was like, living in the mountains. You don't own a mountain town brewery. Like I said, it's kind of pie in the sky for me. It is. It's amazing.
Denver was blowing up at the time brewery-wise, so there's one on every corner. But even here in Breckenridge, where it's, a very heavily trafficked town, a lot of tourism.
Right. It's what we're known for. It's what it is, yeah.
But there aren't very many breweries here. Breckenridge is up here, sure. Breckenridge Brewing.
Well, it's interesting. You had the main four. Breckenridge was in 90. The other guys, Pug Ryan's, Dylan Dam, and Backcountry were all about 97, 98. And then there was no new brewery up here in any of Summit until we opened in 2014. Tell me how that happens. I have no idea. So we were lucky, jumped on that. And it was a good timing, too. About 5 years ago, you could still, a little easier to make an impact now than with all the people they have, all the new breweries coming online. And we're really lucky. Filled a niche. And, really lucky we were, the locals love us. And it made a big difference in how they embraced us and what they've made us who we are.
So kind of along those lines, aside from just, going from career to career, I mean, you made a big transformation by moving up here into Breckenridge.
Yep.
I mean, how was that transition for you, just like even personally, like mixing obviously the brewery is very personal to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And brewing's very personal to you. Yep. But becoming part of this mountain community, which that's a big difference from living down in Denver, It's a whole different lifestyle.
Whole different ballgame, right? It's not easy to be up here. It's hard for people. There's a lot of kinds of people that have 2-3 jobs, and they know what they're doing, right? You play hard, you pay hard, and they're making it happen because they know what a great community is up here and how fun stuff is up here and how fun it is to be up here. And I can't stress enough or even explain how tight the community is up here and how much it means to everybody. Like I said, because it's so hard, we all depend on each other. And being able to fit into, and not only fit into, I guess, but be a major part of this community is what makes this place by far the greatest. I never would have been able to have that in Denver, and to be able to have it up here is amazing.
It's kind of interesting because as we travel around to breweries and stuff, I mean, we find community everywhere we go.
Right.
You know, just the whole, I mean, obviously, from being an industry insider, the brewing community is very supportive of each other.
Absolutely.
The craft industry.
So refreshing.
The craft side of it is very supportive of each other. And my wife and I travel around a lot in our RV, and so we're living full-time in an RV, and we've kind of found that similar community around the RV community, which we were drawn to in the mountain lifestyle. Because if we weren't traveling in our RV, we've always said we'd be living in the mountains.
Sure, absolutely.
But it's that community where you kind of you are very independent, but you really rely on each other in the community.
Absolutely. I mean, you're following your passion.
So it's kind of funny.
You made your passion your lifestyle, right? And that's what having a brewery is.
Especially up here in the mountains.
Well, especially up here in the mountain town. Now, so, all the breweries that up here, we have SCUBA, Summit County United Brewers Alliance, right? And all the time we're doing stuff together. One of my favorite events of the year, every year, is Brewers Bike Ride. Every year we all get together, hop on our bikes, and go to every brewery. And
up here, that is no small feat. Let me tell
you.
We're not talking riding around on flatlands. Remember, we're here at Breckenridge. We're what, about
9,600 here at Breck. Yep.
9,600 feet.
How
Take
long
that.
have you been in Colorado?
Walk 96.
Right, yes.
Walk at 9,600 feet when you come from the flatlands.
But it's just fun. It's like we're all very busy up here, and we don't get to do a lot of stuff together. And when we get to come together and do that type of stuff, it's super special. But you talk about the community, it's like very lucky up here, right? I hop on my phone, I was like, oh man, I need this to brew today. Within 2 minutes, every single brewer up here has responded to me. We have it, we don't, come grab it, we'll drop it off. It's this industry in general is amazing, but even up here in Summit County, it's even a little tighter. It's really fun to see.
Yeah, I could see that because you
mountain lifestyle.
You aren't 5 minutes away from a brew supply shop or something where you can pick things up. So
we're not in Denver where we just run somewhere and grab some stuff. Yeah.
But also that kind of goes along. Let's see, you guys. How long have you guys been in business now?
A little over 4.5 years.
About 4.5 years.
5 years in May. Yep.
And honestly, what's really amazing to me is knowing the Colorado craft industry a little bit. We've been around here as just craft beer drinkers for a long time, but now getting a little bit more onto the inside. I mean, you're kind of an icon in Colorado craft brewing. I don't know how much you realize it.
I don't think so. I think it's the beard.
You probably don't. No.
Yeah, I don't. It might be the beard. Yeah.
The beard has something to do with it. But, I mean, you're very recognizable, of course, right. But I mean, everybody we talk to is like, oh my gosh, Ford. Yeah, he's such a great guy. He's like anything. You go out of your way for people. So
awesome.
I mean,
it's easy to do in this industry, right? Seriously, everybody wants to help everybody out. Everybody's cool. Everybody wants to just make great beer. That's all we want to do, right? It's easy to support that, and you get the support back, right?
That's true.
So that's
just reciprocated.
That's what it's all about. Yeah.
Like here today, we're talking because we love craft beer and we love the community around it, and we obviously love Broken Compass. It's been a place we've been coming probably since about day one. And
back when we had the old tiny space,
it was a little smaller back then, but you're expanding now. I mean, and you guys have taken a different road where you've pretty much stuck to your community.
Well, a couple things going on. Number one, there's over 5 million visitors a year in Breckenridge, right? And why are they here? Party, drink, have a good time, vacation.
Yeah.
So everybody's looking to
even in
the
come summertime,
right? Even in the summertime, everybody's coming. Everybody's looking to come to the breweries. So it makes it a little easier. When you have that type of population rolling in wanting to drink beer, and there's tourists. There's a lot of turnover, so you don't get the fatigue that some breweries can get. There's a lot more people where everything's brand new and shiny, right? So they come in and they're having fun with that. So we definitely have that going for us. And one of the mantras when we started this was to have a good life in the mountains, right? We don't need to become as big as we can to make that a reality. Right. The community that loves us and supports us sends the people here, and we give the people a good beer and a good experience, and life on the mountain's good.
Well, and I think like your lineup of beers too kind of reflects that. I don't know if it started that or if it's just a reflection of that, where you have a lot of good core beers that people know and attach to. And so they know they can always get that here, or almost always get that here. And then about half your other line changes pretty frequently.
I mean, that's
and you do wacky one-off Wednesday where
You bet.
every Wednesday you've got something different.
something
that-
different and something new.
As long as that keg lasts, that's about what you get,
Yes.
right? It's about a keg.
Absolutely. Well, there's a couple things to keep it fun, right? You want the good beers, the core beers that people know you for, right? Like obviously our coconut porter. That's one of the big guys. One of the big guys
Coconut
for
porter.
us.
That's what hooked us.
Right. It's our most famous beer.
If you like porters or stouts, this is a bucket list beer.
Yeah. It is. It's very popular. I feel bad for my beer tenders when we run out. People my beer tenders get yelled at. It's like, hey, it's not their fault. Easy. Our first JBF medal and our most popular beer. You always want that type of stuff to be around because people. Like I said, it's bucket list. People travel from all over the country just to come to that beer and tell us about it all the time. But at the same time, you want to keep it fun, right?
Right.
That's why you bring on those new recipes, those new beers. One of the things we've done is we've started like our IPA series. We rotate through, and our stout series we rotate through.
Okay.
So it's never the same batch twice for those guys. We just keep having fun, new recipes and stuff like that, and that's what keeps it fun and interesting. Like I said, you don't just get in that rut and making the same beers all the time. You make the stuff that people want, and then you make some stuff that they don't know that they want until they try it, right? And that's the fun.
And it's funny how that's kind of cyclical sometimes because like right here I've got the Snowblind Double IPA.
Yep.
And really, for all intents and purposes, this is kind of that classic West Coast American IPA that's got
Absolutely.
that kind of danky, piney,
Yep.
but still has that citrusy nose to it too.
Right.
It is kind of big. It's a double, so it's a little bit
it's a big beer,
But
you bet.
But it drinks really nice if
That's
you.
the point.
And in this time when we've gone crazy with IPAs, what's the big thing
that's-
now? The milkshake IPAs,
Right,
And
and the big hazy, juicy
juice
everywhere.
bombs.
Yes. Well, that's where we have fun with the wacky
Big
one-off,
classic.
right? Like we'll have our classic beers, and then every now and then we'll get a little crazy and throw some new stuff out there, and that's where we get really crazy, is stuff like that. I've never been a big trend guy,
Yeah.
and so
Imagine that.
yeah, right, yeah, exactly. So, I'm all about balance and flavors. So, we've never done a hazy. Finally got on the sour train.
You've never done a hazy?
No.
Period?
Nope, never done a hazy. Same thing, probably won't do a brew.
Don't like those East
Well,
Coasters,
well, no,
man. All they know is ice.
I love the beers, and
No.
like maybe we'll do a batch of that sometime. But I'm like, I like. I don't want to say classic styles because coconut porter is not a classic style, but that's like I said, flavors, balance, stuff like that. That's what we're about. Am I say we're never going to do that? Probably not. But it's not at the top of our list like a lot of people. We just have fun and make what we feel like. Make what we feel like making, and that's usually a little more classic styles and maybe some classic styles with some flavors and stuff. Same thing, chili pepper pale ale, very popular. Our ginger is one of our biggest beers. That's supposed to be a seasonal one time, and it became our third best seller overnight, and it's one of the beers that we ripped the most through.
Yeah, and if people love it, hey,
That's it.
you keep brewing it.
Give them what,
And- But you
love
still
for-
have so
liquid,
much
liquid
fun.
love
I
for
mean-
the masses, man.
But it's got to be fun, like brewing different things too. It keeps it interesting for you as a brewer.
I mean, that's the whole point.
You know,
Let's
for
mess
anybody
around
who's a
with that.
home brewer out there too, or other professional brewers, it's fun to like brew what people want, but it's also fun to play around a little bit and see what you can do.
Absolutely. Or brew what you like. Sometimes you make
Yeah,
that call.
maybe
Like
it's-
our FDFH Brown, one of my favorite beers, doesn't sell real well, but you can
Really?
bet 'em- yeah, you bet 'em- it's
Okay.
it's a hoppy brown.
'Cause that's a great
it freaks
brew-
people out.
Okay. It's more
Right?
of that kind of.
Yeah, it's more of that, and it's and people that want browns usually don't want hoppy. So every now and then, though, we brew that because that's what I want to drink.
That's cool. But
And
now
that's
you
what we
guys
wanna
are getting way too serious.
Uh-oh.
Like,
We went down the rabbit hole.
don't you have a brown?
We
in
went
here
Get a
somewhere?
little technical.
No,
yeah.
We do have a brown in here.
So
This is the FDFH brown with a twist.
that's right. So that's our barrel aged version, and we
Aged in barrels much bigger than this glass.
yes, much bigger than this glass, exactly. So let me tell you how fun that is, being a quarter mile down the road from a distillery. Shuttle. We have a shuttle. They have a shuttle.
That's
we shuttle
true.
each other back and forth all the time. Basically, we have an unlimited source of barrels. We have bourbon. They also have port barrels that they age their bourbon in. We'll get their rum barrels, have fun with that stuff. And it's just a beautiful collaboration. Absolutely love, working with Breckenridge Distillery. Super, super fun.
Well, that's
really
got to be
good.
fun.
Not to mention their booze is damn tasty.
Yeah, it
really
is.
good.
It is very good.
Yeah.
The bourbon is like
Yeah.
off the hook
Yeah,
over there.
absolutely. Those guys do a fabulous job. And like I said, being able to collaborate with those guys on any level, obviously it's a little different because one's a distillery and one's a brewery, but we do everything we can with them. Great partner, and just it results in a ton of fun. Like we were talking earlier over in our barrel space. We do aging, we do barrel fermentation, we do barrel souring, pitching, and because we have that resource, and it's also nice. They empty the barrels and we get them that day. Right, we don't get dry barrels. We get sloppy barrels, and man, does that make for some fun.
So you can
fun
really
pick
pick up the flavor out of that, I imagine.
Absolutely. Yep.
Wow.
Super fun.
That's incredible.
Yep. A lot of fun.
And yeah, you mentioned your barrel space. So when you're in a town like this, space is at a premium.
Oh man.
If you've ever been in a mountain town, you can't just sprawl in a metro area like Denver or something. It's there's a lot of open land.
You don't go 5 miles down the road and find some open space,
right?
Where you can put in.
And you don't want to mess up that open space.
Right.
You have that open space that's there, and you want to keep that pristine space too.
Right.
Yeah, when you're in an area like this, people don't want that sprawl everywhere for the most part.
Understandable. That's why we live here.
That's why you're up here. You love nature and you love this outdoor space, but you have chosen not to do the distribution model to grow your business. But you are kind of expanding up here a little bit, like with the barrel room, where you're going to be expanding into an event center and things like that,
absolutely.
Where you can offer more space for people to come here and really enjoy it.
Like you said, ways to grow without necessarily doing distribution. Distribution is obviously an entirely different game.
And not that there's anything wrong with that for people who want to distribute. That's great.
Absolutely.
But you do lose some control there.
Yes, absolutely.
Which is probably a key factor, I would imagine.
And it's a big step. Your production goes way up. You make less per ounce. You have to hire staff to distribute and or handle sales. And we're lucky enough, like I said, that we don't have to deal with that and don't want to. Frankly,
is that
like
somewhere
I said,
you don't really plan on going right now?
Nope.
No.
Nope. I mean, like I said, we're lucky enough with the millions of people that come to Breckenridge every year that we don't have to necessarily do it. Now, do I want to be in cool places? Do I want to go to Fresh Craft to have a keg on? You bet. I was talking to Jason a couple weeks ago. I'd love to do stuff like that. Fire on the Mountain. I lived in Portland for 10 years. My favorite wing place. They have great beer. We want to get some kegs there for fun. Yeah. And one of the really fun things about industry right now is everybody's into rotators. They don't carry one brewery and they don't carry one beer from that brewery.
Yeah, you can't really hold a tap handle for very long anymore.
And that's perfect for us, right? Yeah. I can take 2 kegs down to Fresh Craft and
he's not kidding. He will take them down there.
Yes, absolutely.
We've run into you as we're out filming other interviews and walks forward.
Well, that's one of the fun.
It's a pretty cool thing.
But that's one of the fun parts, right? Now I get to go to all these breweries and beer bars and try their stuff and talk shop and get to see the people.
Try all those funky, cool beers that they're doing and see what other people got.
Absolutely.
You can feel the pulse when you're out there.
Absolutely.
And see what's going on.
And like I said, we're all pretty busy people, and the time I see these people, we're all at festivals and stuff, and to be able to see these people outside of that is always awesome.
Well, and when you're at a festival,
time and talk shop.
It's hard to remember everybody because
there's that as well. Yes.
About 2 hours into a festival,
you know what?
It's hard to remember what happened.
That can be a beautiful thing too, because I'm horrible with names.
Horrible
with names. It's like, must have been drinking.
Excuse.
Yes, must have been drinking.
Built-in excuse.
Too much of this stuff.
Yeah, because this one, this is the Imperial Brown, which that's about clocks in around 13%.
Yeah,
12 something.
Yep,
yeah.
usually between 12 and 13%.
That's got to be one of the higher ABVs you do. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like you don't.
Yep. Like I said, we get those sloppy barrels. There's usually, a little more in there, and we obviously this is the double mash, single kettle, drive that up there. And I'm not a big guy on adding sugars or using like champagne yeast or anything to finish it out. Just kind of keep it simple. Get what you get from the grains and throw a good yeast in there and let it rip.
You kind of like to keep the ingredients more on the natural side. And
sure. And obviously, there's nothing wrong with that, but that's just not what we do.
Yeah. And there are a lot of great brewers out there now that are doing adjuncts, where adjuncts used to be like a dirty word for throwing stuff in beer to just kind of flesh it out and make your money.
Now people are having fun with it.
But now an adjunct can be just an ingredient.
That's right. A Reese's peanut butter cup.
Yeah, a Reesese's which you have just used, right?
It does, absolutely.
Which you guys,
a lot of good sugars in there.
Yeah, at least she didn't take this beer.
She did take the beer, yes. I love this thing, by the way. That's going to result in some good stories and some good travels.
Yeah, we're going to go.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, you're going to roll that baby all over the
You'll
place.
You'll find out more later.
That's right. So yeah, I mean, like I said, we talk about community. I come back to it all the time, and it's amazing. Not only the beer community, but the community we have up here. I mean, when I say that we are who we are because of them, I'm not kidding around. And it's really fun. People really respond to that. Like, everybody will come and say, oh yeah, so-and-so from such and such said we had to come out here. So here we are. And same thing, like we send everybody downtown, and that's that tight, small community. We take care of each other, and that's, like I said, one of the beautiful, beautiful things up here.
Yeah, it's not a knockout fight for the last dollar of the tourist or whatever. It's it's community. And you see that in all the things you guys do here. Like if you're in this area during the week, on Monday nights, usually you have a potluck.
Yeah. Monday night
almost
potluck.
every Monday night almost.
Yep.
And,
during the winter, summertime people are too busy having fun.
Yeah,
they're out hiking those
dinner,
peaks and playing around. Yeah.
Then they roll in a little bit later and just do the beer and stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, and we're like everybody. You did Tuesday trivia. The wacky one-off's really fun. It's amazing how many texts I get from my friends saying, "What do you got going this week?" It's pretty fun. Yeah, everybody really looks forward to it nowadays.
Even when we're across the country, I'm looking at Facebook, going, "Okay, what do they got this week?" Because I'm like, "Oh man," and it's probably just like torture for myself more than anything.
But you're not going to get any.
Because I can't get there.
It's a keg, and that's all you got.
I'm interested on the event invite thing, and I'm like, "You're halfway across the country."
I am interested.
Not happening.
I'm still interested.
Yeah, not happening. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it's really cool what you guys have built up here and all the space, but
people up here make it easy, man. The place and the people make it easy.
You in particular, you got a pretty cool, interesting trip you went on recently to let out some of that.
Yeah.
Burning Man.
Not just let it out, above and beyond. Burning Man, yeah.
Was that your first trip to Burning Man?
No, that was my third.
Your third.
Yeah, it was 2012 was the first time I went and had some really good friends, coworker. My wife had a brother that goes every year. Brother-in-law that goes every year, and I was like, it's something that I've wanted to do for quite a while. Mm-hmm. So 2012 just rolled out there, was with the regular camp, had a lot of fun.
Just as an attendee, just
as attendee, yeah, just as attendee, and even that is spectacular. Okay. But I've been really lucky to fall into what's called Man Base, and I've been on the crew the past couple of years that builds the man.
That's crazy.
So
that's like the main focal point of the whole. Because we haven't been yet.
Okay, you will.
I say yet.
Believe me, you really should.
Because we do need to go. It's like more and more. I'm like,
yeah, you really should.
Especially following you there this year, I was like, wow, that is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's amazing. So the first year I helped build the man, I had a friend that lived up here in Breckenridge. Maybe 2 weeks before the festival, he called me up and he said, I got one of our volunteers that has an extra ticket for you if you can make it out. And I was like, that'd be awesome. Short notice, I got a ticket, I'll make it happen. And he's like, get out here as soon as you can, we need help finishing up the man. And I was like, how cool would that be to go out there and help build the man? So I went out there and man, you're talking 14, 16 hours a day, working in the desert, building, hot, desert wants to kill you every day. But you're hanging out with people that are so dedicated to something that they believe in. And to be able to be part of that was one of the coolest things I'd ever done. The building's hard, but that's not why you're out there. You're out there for community. Once again, community.
Right. Yeah.
Right? Once again, you're out there for the community. Yeah. Absolutely.
And you say building the man. For people that don't know, the man.
It's so.
Can you explain it a little bit? Because I have an idea, but
absolutely. So there's two main structures.
Mess it up.
There's the man, and then there's the temple.
Okay.
The man is the let's build this and burn the motherfucker down, have a big ass party, and have a good time. Right. That's the man.
And this is a big. Basically, for lack of a better term, it's a statue, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Built out of wood.
Yeah, usually,
it's big wood structure. This is
huge wood structure.
Like we're not talking 10, 15 feet tall.
No, we're talking 120 feet, depending on the structure and what you got going. I mean, it's a true structure.
Later set on fire.
That will burn it to the ground. Right. That's the whole point. So
the Burning Man.
The Burning Man. So
there you go.
Usually construction starts about 3 months ahead of time in Reno, where they now have a ranch next to Black Rock City where it's built, and they'll start construction and pre-build as much as they can. And so then like a month before the burn, all of the general contractors and volunteers that are building will come out and start building the city. There's actually a Department of Public Works that has hundreds of people that are in charge of building the city.
Is it a Department of Public Works for Burning Man?
That's it, for Black Rock City. So
Black Rock City. So that's what it's called at Black Rock City. Yep. But Black Rock City is...
It's the desert. It's the city that pops up.
At one time, pops up this one time per year.
Yep.
And then when it's over, it's gone.
It goes from 0 people to 80,000 people and back to 0 within a month's time, but it's fun. Like there's heavy equipment, there's fuel, there's man base, all these different crews that actually help, that make Burning Man run, actually. And so I was lucky enough to get on this man crew. That first year, went out there for 4 days, built, got to know these guys, made a good enough impression that last year they asked me to come out for the whole build.
Wow.
So I was lucky enough to be able to go to the desert for 5 weeks and be part of the entire build of the man and the burn down, the whole deal. Yeah,
That's got to be an incredible experience, especially once everything, one, to be there, like you said, with the community doing this, and then when everybody kind of assembles there and you've got 80,000 people that are there for what you guys were working on. And I mean, or at least you're the focal point of what,
right. Yeah,
that's the centerpiece of why people.
It was. It's inexplainable. I don't try to explain it to people. Burning Man, much less being able to build the man.
It doesn't.
You just got to go, man. You just got to go. Yeah. And like I was saying, there's the man in there. There's the temple. The temple's one of my favorite parts. It's the one that's it's there. It's more serious. It's there for people to heal and share the good times, the bad times. A lot of tributes are left for lost loved ones, stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
And that burns down the following night, and it's a very quiet, solemn, beautiful thing.
So the man is more of the party.
The man's the party.
Embrace life now and really live it up. And then the temple.
The temple's for, like I said, remembrances, and it's a lot more solemn, beautiful event.
Wow.
They're both beautiful. Don't get me wrong, but very different, and both are extremely incredible.
That's amazing.
And like I said, people ask me all the time to explain it, and should I go? And I was like, number one, you can't explain it. I just stopped. I was like, you can't explain it. You just got to go, but you got to want to go. Right, you're in the desert for 5, 6, 7 days, and you have to take everything you need, and you have to be committed, or you're not going to have a good time.
Well, like here where you're at in Breckenridge, in a mountain town. I mean, I think it's kind of similar. I see some similarities where not everybody can live up here. I mean,
Absolutely
coming up to Breckenridge and going snowboarding or skiing or just hanging out downtown and doing your thing, that's one thing to come up for a few days or come to Oktoberfest or whatever. But to live up here year round.
Like I said, it's a lot harder
lifestyle.
thing. It's a different lifestyle
than a lot of people are used to.
Yep. And like I said, that's where that community comes from, and we all rely on each other. And one of the main sayings on the playa is the playa shall provide. And it really, really does. We all depend on each other to make this work and to have fun and to take care of each other. And a lot of the same things apply up here. We all depend on each other to make this place as fabulous as it is.
Well, with that, as we kind of wind things down, we always have like a little question we ask everybody at the end of the interview, and we like to ask what, like in Jason Ford's opinion, what is living a stout life? And because it's different for everyone. Everyone has a different opinion of what a stout life is.
Right, absolutely.
Besides the beer.
Right. Besides the beer. Well, obviously community, but above and beyond that, living life to the fullest and being involved. It's amazing how inspired I am up here every day by what I see people up here do. You got world-class athletes. You've just got people that they've been up here for 20 years with their PhD. They've got a condo, and they'll absolutely never leave. And they're bartending, bartending, because they know how great life is up here. Like I said, I'm not kidding with you. You live life to the fullest up here every day. Every day I'm inspired, and every day I try to inspire. And being able to be part of something that's like that is indescribably fulfilling, I guess. Right?
You're
living
almost
that.
making me want to park the RV.
Right. I mean, it's an absolutely amazing place. Like I said, I mean, look around. Right?
Gosh.
The people that live here and make this place what it is are just as awesome as the surroundings that you see. And to be able to be not only a part of that, but somewhere that people love to come and hang out and find that community and share those experiences, it's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Well, with that, I'm going to bring our off-camera girl back in.
You waiting for
And
me?
I'm going to pick up the coconut porter.
Right on.
That is just a great beer.
Right on. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Good to see you,
very much.
as
Good
always.
to see you
Yeah.
always, yes.
All right.
Cheers, everybody.
There are new episodes with new conversations every Sunday night. Be sure to subscribe and click the little gray bell so you don't miss out. We'd love to hear from you, so please leave us a comment below. Not only will this help us get found on the search engines, but it will also help us create a better experience for you, our viewers.
Cheers, little guy.
This is going to be awesome.
I don't think it's good, guys. Yeah. You're gonna get a lot of miles out of that.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yep.
What?
You're on whenever you want.
We're on?
Set,
We're
go.
always on.
We're
I
always
think
on.
Ford is the guy that's always on. He's on no matter what.
Do what you can, right? Do what you can.
You got to be on, right?
Yep.
Because it's fun.
It's. I mean,
Yeah, you
Anyway,
guys
be quiet for
teamed
2
up.
seconds because now all
Okay.
I'm doing is feeling pretty and I cannot do splits like you. And these knees are killing me.
all right.
Up, lady. Up.
Okay, now I go back.
All right.
Oh,
Sounds
she
good.
took the beer with her. Damn it.
Right.
Okay, go in.
And then turn the. No video. No.